Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 things that I dislike about my Z06. Now, before you smash that dislike button, throw me away, and hate me forever, check this video above about the 10 things that I love about my Z06. I think I named like maybe 16 or 17 different things, but watch that list first. I love this car. I'm not trying to crush your dream car, but that being said, when you're going to critique something, there's going to be pros and cons of both, and now this video is about the cons of the car. I love this car a lot. I've put 17,000 miles on it, and I plan on keeping it for a long time. So, that being said, here are 5 things that I dislike about the car, but also I'm going to break this video up into 3 different categories. So, the first section is going to be 5 things that I dislike, and then the second section is going to be things that others dislike. And then the last section, I'm talking about a few things that they should have done with the Z06. You know, hindsight is 20/20, but there are 4 or 5 different things that I think they should have done. So let's dive down into it. So number 1, the Targa top has closing problem. So I cannot get this thing to close. It's in perfectly here. It's in perfectly there. It's locked. It's locked. This will not come down. So I've only noticed this problem when it's extremely hot outside and I've had the top off and it's been in the back, and then when I'm ready to put it back on, it is a chore, and it literally sometimes just won't work. You have to wait and do it later. The second one, I'm going to throw the wheels and the brakes in together. This can be super frustrating. Obviously, the brake dust is going to be your biggest problem if you have the iron rotors or the standard rotors, but that's a $7,000 option to have all of them. So if you have the money, I'd go on ahead and do that. But if not, your biggest complaint, besides maybe the cup holder or something like that, is probably going to be your brake dust. I love the wheels. I have the black wheels and I think they look great, but they're made of aluminum alloy and they crack, bend, and break. There's class action lawsuits against it, and I hate the fact that anytime I hit a bump or something like that, I don't have my car in track mode. I'm a big fan of not having your car in track mode all the time because it can increase your chances of your wheel bending, cracking, or breaking. But, you know, whenever you hit a bad bump, you go, oh my God, is this going to cost me $500? This is a $500 whoopsies. So the wheels are really pretty looking, but they're not made very well. They're not very sturdy. They're loaded with brake dust. But then the third thing about them is they are a pain in the butt to clean. So most of your Corvettes are going to have a 5-spoke wheel design, and then maybe they're going to have a 5-spoke that's doubled, so it's going to be like this type of deal. Well, this one, it flowers out onto like 3 or 4 different pieces, so it is really hard to clean. A lot of people have a brush that's pretty big that you can put in and clean out the wheel wells. Well, when you have a spoke every 5 inches or 3 inches, it makes it really hard to actually clean the back part of the deep wheel well. So it makes it really hard to actually clean the actual wheel. But you know, that's it for that. So the third thing I want to talk about is the infotainment system. The infotainment system is alright, but for a 2017 car, it seems to lag in a few areas. Once you plug your phone in and the Apple CarPlay shows up, a lot of times the Apple CarPlay button will not register, and the only way to solve this problem is to press the screen button and basically let it reset. It's kind of frustrating because it's almost 50-50. Sometimes it'll work perfectly, and the other times you're like, okay, I'm expecting as soon as I press this, I need to press the screen button and let it reset. The second thing about the infotainment system is the navigation option. It's a $2,500 option, and it's complete garbage. The system itself is not garbage, but it looks very outdated. Apple CarPlay pretty much saves this thing from being ugly. I don't like the fact that you can't multitask or any other color options. I'd love just an additional color option instead of this faded blue carbon fiber look. I'd love just maybe a red or a monochromatic look. But the fact that it won't even multitask, I had the front cameras. I wanted the 2017 with the front cameras. So, you know, the fact that I can't have my car's camera on and slowly pull up into a space and turn my music down without the camera going away, that's really frustrating. Fourth thing is the OnStar button location. The OnStar button location is in a bad spot. Anytime you want to wipe your car clean, it's going to probably call somebody from OnStar. And, you know, as much as I appreciate the safety option, I think there's a way better place for it to go. I think it could have definitely gone up here next to your hazard lights as well as the passenger airbag button. I think that would have been a lot better place. That way I can clean my mirror and not worrying about calling anybody. A few other people have said that it feels like there's cop car lights behind you, but to me that's not really a big deal, because if you've ever been pulled over by the cops, you know that these little blue and red lights right here are nothing in comparison. The cop car lights are much brighter and it'll scare the bejesus out of you. Okay, the fifth thing is going to be the gas tank nozzle where you fill up the car. It's got like a double wall system, so once it's gone through one, it's got to go through another. I don't know if this is some sort of regulation or something, but it makes filling up the car extremely annoying. Anytime you have one of those settings where you're trying to fill up the car, it's not going to work on the first one, it's not going to work on the second one, so you pretty much have to stand there and hold it yourself, because I don't know if there's too much gas over air ratio or something, but it's a pain in the butt to fill up. You can't just sit there and leave it unless you find that sweet spot. I mean, these are the 5 things that I found to be most frustrating with the car. You know, I still love this car a lot, but now we're going to move on to some of the problems that other people have had with this car. So number 1 is the cup holder problem. Yes, a lot of people have complained about the cup holder, but I've seen it 50-50. So obviously water bottles are getting ridiculous now. Water bottles are this tall, and I don't know how many cars can actually hold a water bottle that is super tall. But the problem with this one is it doesn't have any teeth, so it can't grab anything, and the water bottle is going to fly out if you goose it. But if I have a water bottle in the car, I'll take this middle piece out and I'll put it behind the screen, or I'll just set it in the passenger seat. But that being said, I also love the fact that this, you know, this car is a Grand Touring car, so it's going to be good with large, like, styrofoam cups. So I can fit 2 large cups from Whataburger and not have a problem with that. And, you know, honestly, I really like that. So the cup holder is not a big, massive problem to me. The second thing is the positioning of the seatbelt. I am a huge fan of Chuck from Corvette's 918. You know, before I bought my car, I watched his videos every single night just as a motivation. Hey, work your butt off at your job, save your money, and you can get a car like this. Well, he said the positioning of the seatbelt was a problem. And I was like, Chuck, I haven't even had a problem with my seatbelt. And then I went and looked and I realized it wasn't even in the little brackets that they're there for. So to some that can be annoying. I don't know if it's just really hard to reach back there and grab, but mine's not even in there and I haven't had a problem with it. And there's a better chance of your car getting ruined from something else than a seatbelt slightly rubbing up here. So I haven't had a problem with it, but I know some people have. The third thing is the body lines. Outside the car and inside the car, there can be some pretty big body line differences. I don't really have any problems inside my car, but outside, you know, I know there's multiple hinge points. So there's a hinge point on the hood, there's a hinge point on the door, but you know, when the front piece, the front fender and the back fender come together, there's just all different sorts of body lines. And I think some people would like those to be a little more cohesive, almost be the same size. And it's just weird because there's so many different widths in these gaps. The fourth thing is wheel gap. A lot of people are frustrated with the fact that the wheel gap is pretty thick. Well, you can pick your poison on this. There's 2 things. You can either lower your car and spend thousands of dollars on replacing your front splitter and your air dams in front of your tires, or you can spend thousands of dollars on new wheels. So you can pick your poison, but I love the fact that Chevrolet's built a car that's tall enough for you to drive and not scrape, which if you haven't seen my scrape video, you should watch that because It's amazing what this car can do at stock ride height. And the second option, like I said, is to buy more wheels. So if you want to go with 20s in the front and 21s in the back, so be it. But, you know, that's a problem that people have. And, you know, this is a Corvette. This is not a Ferrari. This is not a Lamborghini. But this is an American road touring car that can be a track car, but also be a daily driver. The fifth thing is that people's Targa top rattles and makes noises, wind noise right about here. I haven't had a problem with that, but I know other people have. I know a lot of people call the Z06 a rattle box, but my AC does not rattle. My Targa top does not rattle. This car has been very good to me, and I have not had any problems with that. The last thing for problems that other people have had is the trunk closing problems. A lot of people with 2015s, there was some sort of air pressure problem with the car that if you close the doors, the trunk would pop, or the trunk would just not close right. So in 2016 they came out with the auto cinching trunk feature, and I love that. I love it on my 2017, but I know that's been a problem that people have had. So people used to actually physically have to force and slam their trunk down just to get it to close, and obviously that's bad because you want to treat your car, you know, delicately. It's your baby, but you know, that was a problem that people were having. Now in the last part, the things that I wish that they had on the Z06, you know, hindsight is 2020. Number one is a front end lift system. I would love to lower my car and to be able to go over speed bumps or driveway entryways or stuff like that. I wish that was an option. The second thing is black tipped exhaust. I have pretty much everything on this car black, you know, the wicker bill, the air vent pieces, the mirrors, the wheels. You know, just having a black exhaust option would be nice because I don't like, you know, seeing the soot on my exhaust tailpipes. But, you know, that's why you can buy exhaust from a different provider. The third thing is, even though the visibility is great in this car, I wish there was a blind spot monitoring system. That would be really nice just for that extra protection. And then the fourth thing is cooled seats. So if you ever hear anybody talk about their Z06, their seats are not cooled, the seats are ventilated. So if you have the AC on in the car, yes, it is recirculating air-conditioned air through your seats, but it is not cooled. So whenever you have your Targa top off or you have your windows down, it's going to be recirculating that temperature air. So if you have your Targa top off and you're recirculating 95-degree air, your seats are pretty much heated. So I would love for them to be able to have cooled seats. I don't know if that's a weight reduction thing, but that's an option that I wish we could have. You know, whether it be on a 3LZ or the ZR1 or something, I wish that was something that they offered. But, you know, these are the things that I found to be uncomforting, or some things that I dislike about this car. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys can hit that like button and subscribe. I'm still trying to grow my channel, and I'd love to reach out to more Corvette people like you guys and share you know, my opinions and what I know about this car. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and take care.